So we got a little bit of a small update for one of my most anticipated games in 2025, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. We've also got a pretty big rumor with a great Nintendo 3DS game coming to the Nintendo Switch apparently in 2025, and we've got to talk about what's happening with Mario and Luigi Brothership and what this game ended up being. But before we get into all that, what's good everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, and click that notification bell to get my Nintendo Switch RPG videos and more as soon as they drop them. Let's go ahead and jump right into Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Once again, this is one of my most anticipated titles for 2025. I'm sure a lot of you guys are looking forward to the game. If you played it on Wii U, if you saw it on Wii U and never got it, if you just got into Xenoblade Chronicles on the Nintendo Switch, this game is a standalone experience with some little ties, maybe, theoretically, to the Xenoblade series. So if you've never played Xenoblade Chronicles, this is a perfect time to jump into the series as it is a standalone, as it does do things a little bit differently, as it does have a different vibe and tone from the music to the graphics to the gameplay to the flow. It is different from what you usually see from a Xenoblade Chronicles game. Even the main character is not a set main character that has their own personality and everything. It's actually you. You get to create your own character and the person does not talk. So you gotta put yourself in there as a Blade member, and it's actually really cool. It's got online multiplayer, and it looks like they're going to be revamping the online multiplayer for the Nintendo Switch version. There's been some, I would say, speculation, and there's been some theories that the Nintendo Switch Online, the global test that they did, could have been one of the things that are linked to what's happening with the multiplayer with Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. I made a video on it, and there's other videos as well, so check that out. I'll have a link for you guys in the description if you want to watch that video and what we could be seeing for Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition online multiplayer. But let's get back to what's happening here, because Yggdrasil over on Twitter actually showed something that I never saw before that Nintendo is doing to get us ready a little bit and to spread the word of Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. So he says on Twitter, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition has got a full page ad in the latest Famitsu. So that's number 1877, and this is between the game's planned global release, sudden initial announcement, and continuously strong marketing. I'm so happy to see the response and support for this game in getting the attention it deserves. So this is something that's very important, I would say, for the success of Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. The other day on one of my streams, someone asked me, well, where do you think would be a good number for Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition? Like, what do you think Nintendo would be happy with how it sold? And I was like, okay, well, it's a super late Wii U port to the Nintendo Switch, so obviously it's not a priority, like let's say Mario Kart 8 or Super Mario Bros or something like that. So I don't think Nintendo's expecting anything crazy on that front. But if you look at what Nintendo's done with Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition sold around 1.5, 1.6 million last time that we heard about it, which was a while ago now. So maybe it's around 2 million units or close to that. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, around 2 million units. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, around 2.7 million units or something like that. So I'm guessing Nintendo has expectations right around 1.5 to 2 million units, maybe for this game, maybe even a little bit lower since it is a Wii U port and it's so late, and there could be distractions from the Nintendo Switch 2 coming up. So we just don't know, and it's also launching in a pretty crowded time period as well. But I do think that Nintendo is looking for this game to at least, once again, hit that million plus mark at the bare minimum. And I think that having a full page ad in Famitsu, making sure that they have this announcement that really gives it its own time to shine, and doing other things which we'll probably see, like more trailers, potentially even some other ads out there, maybe even some more marketing in terms of advertisements with certain content creators. Things like that are all going to help when it comes to the status of Xenoblade. But yes, I have to agree with Yggdrasil over here on Twitter. The fact that they do have this full page Famitsu ad, they're marketing it multiple months before it's coming out. The fact that they're letting people know, like, hey, it's coming out this day, this is what it's going to be, check it out, you want to play this game, because this was somewhat hidden on the Wii U. The Wii U was a flop, barely selling 13 million units plus, not even getting to 14 million. That's such a bad number for a main Nintendo console with Mario, Zelda, and Smash Brothers on it. So, I mean, the thing for me at least is that getting all the games that were on the Wii U and giving them new life and giving them an actual way to flourish and get into the hands of consumers is a good thing. And of course, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Nintendo kind of marketing it and making sure that people know about what's happening is absolutely something that you want to see for the future and the health of the Xenoblade franchise. The next major Monolith Soft title, that is going to be, okay, all hands on deck. We got to make sure that this is marketed and this sells and everything. So that's going to be a little bit different because that's going to be a big Nintendo Switch 2 game. This is essentially, hey, we know you guys have been wanting this. People have been wanting this all generation. People started talking about this back in 2018, 2019, where Microsoft had to respond saying, hey, we can't do it right now. But I feel that this was really for the fans out there, and Nintendo's kind of delivering on that aspect and having every single Xenoblade Chronicles game playable on the Nintendo Switch. So definitely a good thing. This is a nice update to see what's going on with Xenoblade, and I cannot wait for Nintendo to show more so new people that have never played Xenoblade, and of course those that have never played Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U, can finally have a go on the Nintendo Switch. And this is going to be even better when it comes to the Switch version because it's going to remove a lot of the annoying things with the Wii U version of the game where you have to have the dual pad play. Don't get me wrong, the dual pad stuff is really cool, but sometimes it's annoying if you just want to play with a Pro controller and you have to switch controllers and go back and forth. I mean, that was a little annoying. It was novel and cool for a bit, but then also started to get a little bit annoying when you needed to mine or do other things. So having that available to just play on the Nintendo Switch, especially portable mode, being able to take this game anywhere, considering the amount of quests and the amount of exploration and things to do in this game, a portable version is definitely welcomed at this point. So what do you guys think about this full page ad and how Nintendo is handling Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition so far? Let me know in the comment section below. But now we're going to move on to a big rumor from Mr. Nate Drake from the Nate the Hate podcast. So recently he had a return podcast after a number of months, and he dropped some heat that the internet is definitely eating up right now, giving us a little bit of a timeline of when he's heard about the Nintendo Switch 2. He said around May 2025 there's going to be some type of major event, so maybe there'll be a launch after that in the summer or so. But then he also dropped this gem too, and that a game from the Nintendo 3DS that's universally loved, and that is Kirby Planet Robobot. It's looking like it's going to be getting a Nintendo Switch remaster or port in 2025. So this is definitely good to see, and the more Nintendo 3DS games that come over, the better. We've already gotten a number of 3DS games ported over to Nintendo Switch, but to be honest, it's not enough. Now that the Nintendo 3DS is pretty much done at this point, Nintendo has a responsibility, in my opinion at least, to port over some of these games that are stuck on the Nintendo 3DS. We still need to see more. Kid Icarus Uprising, I think we need to see that. We need to see Metroid Samus Returns. There still needs to be Kirby Triple Deluxe. There needs to be A Link Between Worlds. There are a number of high quality Nintendo 3DS games that absolutely need to make the jump to the Nintendo Switch. I'd love to see Fire Emblem Awakening, Fire Emblem Fates, Ever Oasis. The list goes on, and I'm not sure if Nintendo will ever be able to get everything ported over or remastered over, but absolutely having some type of Nintendo 3DS NSO, if they can get that or have that be possible, that would be something that would be really good. Or at least some type of 3DS player that you can plug into the Switch 2 or that you can plug into your TV or something like that that can get it. I don't think that really makes sense, 3DS player on the TV. But yeah, having some type of application or something, or getting these games on an NSO service, I think that's probably the best bet if they can get that done somehow, to get the great catalog and library of getting 3DS games over to a more modern platform with the Nintendo Switch 2. I think that would be awesome. But yeah, if they did port over or remaster Kirby Planet Robobot, I'm guessing it would be a nice remaster or HD port. So I'm guessing to be something like the Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe or even Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Both of those are also really good. They did a great job of bringing those games over and even adding a little bit of content when it comes to the Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Kirby Planet Robobot for many is seen as the best 2D Kirby games, or one of the best 2D Kirby games. Some people think it's the best Kirby game in general because it's got a lot of cool robots and really fun, fast gameplay. So I do think that this is a great pick if they decide to bring it over, which I think that they will. Nate usually gets a lot of this stuff right, so I'm pretty sure that Kirby Planet Robobot, since he was so confident about it coming over, I think that they will. And of course, Nintendo's winding down the Nintendo Switch 1 support when it comes to main titles, stuff like ports, remasters, and all that. We've been getting those all this year. That's been so much stuff that we've been getting this year. Nintendo's been bringing over Wii games and GameCube games and all sorts of stuff to the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, expect them to keep bringing those games and even to probably support the Nintendo Switch 1 and Nintendo Switch 2 with these type of games, or backwards compatibility with these type of titles from Nintendo's past systems. So Kirby Planet Robobot seems like that's going to be the next major remaster from an older Nintendo system to make its way to the Nintendo Switch in 2025. So you guys can let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section as well. Next up, we're going to talk about Mario and Luigi Brothership. There was a huge interview series that Nintendo did with the developers, Ask the Developer, and this was from Acquire. Acquire is a very interesting studio because they're the ones who do Octopath Traveler. They're the ones that are under Kadokawa. Kadokawa seems to be getting sold to Sony or somebody else, so fans are in a panic. Oh my gosh, we're never gonna get Mario and Luigi anymore if this happens, although they never developed Mario and Luigi before this. It was just this one game, so Nintendo could find somebody else to get it. But Mario and Luigi Brothership is obviously a great game. It's very fun. I think that they cooked with a lot of the different battle mechanics. You can tell that the developers had experience when it comes to turn-based RPGs, so it turned out really well. Now, one of the more interesting things that we saw is that Acquire wanted to make a more edgier Mario, but Nintendo was like, we want it to be more of what fans expect since we're coming back after quite some time. But another very interesting thing is that Nintendo almost gave up on this series. That's why it took nearly a decade to actually get another one. They said, hey, look, they didn't really know what they wanted to do with the series. Obviously, Alpha Dream was done there. The last game sold pretty badly. And of course, you're going from GBA/Nintendo DS all the way jumping up to the Nintendo Switch. That is a huge investment in terms of what developers you need, the time it's going to take, the graphical style. I mean, sometimes people think that making these games is just easy. You snap your fingers, you put a couple developers together, and all of a sudden you got a Mario RPG game, but it takes so much more than that. But Nintendo stayed with it, reached out to Acquire because of their experience, and said, hey, look, we would like you guys to get this game done. Now, when they were brainstorming, this is how hard it is. They didn't know what style to do, and they even thought that HD 2D could be something that they did for this type of game to retain the style of what Mario and Luigi is, but decided against that and decided to go bold, slick, I would say animated style that really defines what an upgrade in a fully HD 3D system would be. So I think that, yeah, HD 2D Mario and Luigi would be awesome. But Square Enix is also very, I would say, aware, and I think people are also aware of the HD 2D burnout. You don't want too many things doing HD 2D, but yeah, I would have been down for an HD 2D game. But to be honest, I'm actually glad that they went with this new distinct style, and I think that going forward, Mario and Luigi can look like this, and even better on the Nintendo Switch 2 if they decide to make another game. So yeah, it was very interesting to see all the different aspects from this Mario and Luigi Ask the Developer. I thought it was pretty cool. And I think that them actually wanting to make a more rugged and edgier Mario was part of the process of trying to figure out exactly what you're going to do after it's been so long for this series. But here's the good news, guys. Sales are picking up worldwide, especially in Japan, where Mario and Luigi Brothership kind of got overshadowed a lot by Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. But now what we're seeing is that it's continuing to sell in the top 5, top 6 or so in Japan. It sold another 11,000 units as of the last week from when I'm recording this video, and it's pretty much over 100,000 units plus in Japan if you include the digital sales. And we're heading into the holiday season. More and more people are buying the game. I think this will be a little bit of an evergreen type of title for Nintendo and for the Mario and Luigi fans as more people play their backlog, pick up other things, get done with Dragon Quest, here's my next turn-based RPG adventure. So definitely good news going forward for Mario and Luigi Brothership, and we'll see what happens with Acquire. But yeah, if Acquire ends up going with Sony or ends up getting purchased by someone else, Nintendo could reach out to somebody else who makes turn-based RPGs and see what they can do. So I'm not really too worried at all. In the meantime, I think that if you like Mario and Luigi, obviously go purchase the game, make sure that the game is well received and supported, and then of course Nintendo will put it up higher on the board when it comes to sequels and what they want to do next, because it'll be selling good, so the economy around it is fantastic. So what do you guys think overall when it comes to everything that we discussed with Mario and Luigi Brothership, Kirby Planet Robobot, big rumor there, and of course Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition getting more love from Nintendo and the update from Famitsu? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch RPG videos and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.